characteristics of literature review, right? A literature review should not include every single source that you have read. Maybe suppose you are going to be collect 300 reviews, or maybe 400 reviews, or maybe 50 reviews. If it is a PG project, need not to include all that 50 reviews. So which one is important? You have to include those important information only, right? It's important to be selective about the sources you choose to address, right? So before choosing that important review of literature, and even I say to you, right, so you have to take from the standard journals, either maybe a Springer's, or maybe elsewhere, or maybe a Vikalpa, which I have mentioned. Vikalpa is a IIM journal, right? So if you take standard journals, then definitely you are going to be get good information from them, right? And ensures the sources you analyze are directly relevant to your research questions and topic. So before searching, then that particular review of literature has to be give address to your research problem or maybe research questions. And it's important also that you think critically about the credibility and reliability of the sources. Now just now I say to you, right, so before taking any one article, then you have to check whether that article has a credibility or reliability, right? Where you collected that article, right? Where it was published, and what about the author and author experience on that particular topic, right? I say to you, right, ABDC journals or FT50 journals. So all, if any one professor knowledge is indirectly tested where he published his article. Okay, this is what we discussed in the yesterday's class, right? Now let me take one more topic today, right? That is most important one, right? So measurement. Okay, so what is this measurement? See, you have identified one problem, and once if you identified a problem, then based on that you come up with the questions. Now once if you come up with the questions, then based on that you are going to be write your objectives, then finally hypothesis. Okay, now when you make hypothesis, then most important one, you need to get a data. So how you are going to be get the data? So you have two sources, primary sources and secondary sources, that we will discuss in the next unit, third unit. But let me explain to you. Suppose if it is a marketing guy, or maybe a finance guy, or maybe HR guy, if he want to get that information, he has to be depend upon any one instrument that is called questionnaire. Okay, so questionnaire consists of n number of questions. It may be included nominal data, ordinal data, interval data, or maybe ratio data. Okay, so what is nominal? Now let us take an example. If I ask a question, maybe say gender, right? So how many options we may give based on gender? Any one of you?
3 options.
2 options. One is male and one is female, and the third one, which is maybe preferred not to say. Okay, now let us take an example, male and female, right? So see, this is called nominal data. Why it is a nominal, right? Even though if I give importance to male, right, male is not superior when compared to the female, and female is not superior when compared to the female, right? So each and every individual has its importance, right? Now let me ask you one question. I have included one question in your questionnaire, that is called maybe which color you like, right? You gave an option, black, yellow, blue, red. Okay, Sunil may like black, one person may like blue, one person may like red, and one person may like blue, one person may like yellow, and one person may like red, right? So that is not indicating that yellow is the first one, everyone has to give importance, and the black has to be give last importance. No, right? So such type of questions is called nominal. So we have a measurement scale even in the coming classes, even in the coming units, which we are going to be discuss about more clearly what is this measurement scale and all those things. But let me give some basic information to you. What is this measurement? It is a collection of information in numeric form, right? Clear? So see, either maybe it is a nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio data which you have included in your questionnaire. It has to be in the form of numeric. That is what even we are going to be doing in the next, right? So in the third unit you have one more concept, that is which is coding data and how it is going to be solved based on the softwares, right? So you will collect the data. That data has to be changed, that data has to be give some codings. So we'll discuss that concept in the next unit. Okay, so what is measurement? It is the collection of information in numeric form, right? So it is a record of performance or the information which is required to make judgment. Now see, you want to give a solution for that, right? You have given some questions, right? And you have mentioned some questions in your questionnaire, right? Which is indirectly you are collecting information from the respondents, and that responses, how you are going to be collect and how you are going to be given information in the questionnaire. Okay, so measurement is an act or process that involves the assignment of numerical values to whatever is being tested. So it involves the quantity of something. So what is measurement? Measurement is an act or process that involves the assignment of numerical values to whatever is being tested. Now see, I have gave one example as of now, right? What is that? So demographical variables you have included in your questionnaire, that is gender. Okay, male and female. Fine. Now if you take male and female as it is, then is it possible with you to calculate in the Excel, or maybe a SPSS, or maybe a MOS, or maybe a EVs, which I'm talking about softwares, right? Is it possible with you? If it is not numerical, is it possible with you to calculate?
No.
No. So you have to convert that theoretical information in the form of numerical. Our characteristic has to be changed into numerical, right? So measurement is an act or process that involves the assignment of numerical values to whatever is being tested, right? So you want to know how many males you collected the data and how many females are involved in your data collection. So from that, you may say about that, suppose your sample size is 250, out of 250, 100 is female and 150 is male, right? So how we are going to be identify that? Now suppose if it is 250, then you are able to calculate each and every one, until unless you did not give any coding to that. Suppose if you give a coding to that, then it is easy to you to calculate. But suppose your sample size is 1000, if it is related to thesis work, PhD work, then you may not read, you may not tick right male 1 2 3 4 5 like that. So it's highly difficult. Any scientific research, maybe it depends upon, let us take an example, one country want to know about how many people are get affected with the disease, then is it possible with the count manually? I know. So we have to convert that into numerical form, then only it could be possible as if you give the data into software, then software will give you immediately how many males and how many females. Is it clear? So measurement is an act or process that involves the assignment of numerical values to whatever is being tested. So it involves the quantity of something. Okay, so hope you got. So we have 4 important measurement scales, right? First one is nominal, second one is ordinal, third one is interval, and fourth one is ratio. Most important one, right? Listen carefully. When you are doing project work, those who are preparing questionnaire, I think right now everyone is depending upon primary data itself. Of course finance students is depending secondary data, but even though you are depending upon secondary data, but it is better to collect data from the primary data itself, then only it could be valid added advantage to your project. Okay, so we'll talk about one by one. What is nominal data? Okay, so first and foremost measurement scale which we have, nominal. Okay, so nominal, the word itself is saying about that nomenclature, naming, right? So see, now suppose if I ask a question, type of car owned, right? So what type of car which you have, or maybe brand, right? Maybe someone says about that Maruti, someone says about Hyundai, someone says about Mahindra, someone says about Rolls-Royce, or maybe Volkswagen, right? So it's just name, right? And even just now I said, right, a gender, male and female, color, or which type of color car which you are using, is it yellow, blue, black, red, or something else, or maroon red, right? So naming, marital status, married, unmarried. Okay, or maybe I may ask question, what is your name? This is also nominal data. So demographical variables. If you want to know the demographical variables based on your questionnaire, maybe you are going to be asked one basic important question in the questionnaire, that is nominal data. Okay, so no ordering or direction here. So there is no order in the nominal data, and even there is no direction at all. Okay, each and every one individual name itself has a good importance. We may not compare this one is the best and that one is a least one. Just now I give an example. Which color you like? Red, blue, black, red, red, blue, black, yellow, green. Now suppose people say about that I like red, that means I may not say about that red should be give first importance. It based on his perception, based on his importance, and even based on so and so, right? Attitude, behavior, and perception related oriented one. Hope you understand what is nominal data. Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you have
Yes,
any
sir.
questions as of now? Now second one is ordinal data. Okay, so as of now we discussed nominal data, then the second one ordinal data. So ordinal data which has certain order, right? So rankings 1 2 3 4 5, it follows certain order, right? So let me give an example here, which is service quality rating. Okay, or maybe student letter grade, first standard, or sorry, a first place, second place, third place, fourth place. It has certain order, ordinal, right? So ordered categories, or maybe you may mention in your questionnaire, which is questions like this, or maybe a 1 to 5 rating scale. 1 is strongly disagree, 5 is strongly agree. Okay, so ordinal data, it has certain order, or maybe rank, first rank, second rank, third rank, fourth rank, fifth rank. So it has certain order, right? So suppose if I ask a question, is there any difference between first rank and second rank? It depends upon the score which the person is scored. There is no same equal gap which was given from the first rank to second rank or second rank to third rank. It depends upon the score which scored by the first ranker and even second ranker. Now let us take an example out of 100 which I have conducted exam in a QABD or maybe BRM. Maybe a first ranker got 99, but second ranker got 70, third ranker got 69, right? And the fourth rankers got maybe below 59. So hope you understand, right? So ordinal data. Then the third one, interval data. So what is this interval data? Which is differences between measurements but no true zero, which you cannot find. Best example for the interval data, which is temperature in Fahrenheit, right? So see, which is temperature, which I'm giving an example here, interval data. So 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, or maybe 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. So interval, 10 interval, 5 interval, 4 interval, 6 interval, 25 intervals, which I'm taking, right? Suppose most of the students, they may give to know about demographical variables of any one respondent, right? Which is age from 0 to 10 years, from 10 to 20 years, 20 to 30 years, 30 to 40 years, and 40 to 50 years, and 50 and above. Or maybe if you want to know youngsters itself, then you are going to be treated as 15 to 25 years. That's it. So interval data. Then the last one, final, which is ratio data. So what is this ratio data? Which is differences between measurements, true zero exist. So you are going to be get true zero here, which is height, right? Or maybe age. Then weekly food spending, right? How much you are spending on weekly food. Or what about your age? And what about your height? Okay, so remember, nominal and ordinal data is also called categorical variables. Nominal and ordinal data is also called categorical variables or categorical data. Interval and ratio data is also called metric data or numerical data. Okay, so any one of you can please tell me what is this nominal and ordinal data is also called? Nominal and ordinal data is also called? Respond. Are you there? Any one of you? Nominal and ordinal data is also called categorical. Interval and ratio data is also called metric data. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. So now see, now we are going to face some issues in the measurement scale. Okay, what are those? Right, easier to measure physical phenomena, right, which is height and weight. Okay, it is easy to measure height and weight, but at the same time maybe see if any one particular person said orally what is your, if anyone asked that particular person what is your height, they may say about that 5.4 inches. There is no proof at all. Again, you have to measure that. And what about weight, right? People may say about that my weight is 50 or 60 or 70 or 80. Then there is no proof at all. Again, you have to measure that particular thing. Okay, so difficult to measure subjective attributes. Now it's highly difficult to measure. Now how you are going to measure your feelings? It's highly difficult. Attitudes, it's highly difficult. Ideology, it's difficult, right? Deviance, it's difficult. Perception, right? So it's highly difficult to measure subjective attributes. I cannot measure your feelings, and you cannot measure my feelings also, and you cannot measure my attitude, you cannot measure my behavior, you cannot measure my perceptions until unless you are giving some numbers to that. Okay, clear? Now devise techniques to measure the invisible, right? So see, morale of any one particular person, it's highly difficult to measure. And even empirical reality, create instrument for its measurement. So you have to create instrument to collect the data. Either it may be feelings or attitudes, or maybe perceptions, or maybe ideology, or maybe behavior, or maybe a moral related oriented one, right? So how you are going to behave based on the situation, until unless you are not created any one instrument to collect the data, it's highly difficult to you. Okay, so we have even some issues in the measurement, right? And even general issues in measurement. We have two essential steps in measurement process. One is construct development, right? It's too early to talk about this construct development. I think I gave to you what is construct. Okay, to know about typing speed or maybe quality of any one particular person, then maybe I'm going to be check his speed and even what type of a style which he is using, right? And what time he's taking to finish that entire statement to type. So all these which is form one construct. Okay, and even operationalization. Okay, so all these are the issues which we have under this measurement, right? Measurement scales. Okay, do you have any questions as of now? Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Now the most important one, hypothesis. Okay, so what do you mean by hypothesis? Any one of you can please tell me? I gave so many times this example. Any guess? What do you mean by hypothesis? It's assumption, right? It's a statement. Okay, so we'll talk about what is this hypothesis and how you are going to be framed. Okay, so maybe you studied this hypothesis concept in the statistics also. Even in, if when you are solving the problem t-test, when you are solving the problem one sample t-test, two sample t-test, or maybe paid sample t-test, or maybe correlation, regression, ANOVA, right? So you have to frame hypothesis first. Okay, so it's general assumption. So how many of you remember first class itself I said to you when I was brushing up this particular subject, right? Taking an example of Sohail, and I gave Sohail is a good boy. That is my statement. Then how to prove that? Then again I need to get the data. Okay, so we'll talk about all these things related to hypothesis. Okay, so what is hypothesis? A hypothesis is a tentative assumption, which is temporary assumption or maybe statement which is relating to certain phenomena. Okay, my assumption towards one particular person is good. It may be a bad or maybe a good, but I'm presuming that he's a good or she's a good. Then after observing, maybe I'm going to conclude that my assumption is good or maybe bad, or accepted or maybe rejected. So a hypothesis is a tentative assumption which is relating to certain phenomena, right? So when you are doing any project work, maybe you are coming up with the hypothesis, right? So most of the youngsters are interested towards the online shopping. That is your assumption. Maybe after doing some research work and after applying maybe any one statistical tool, your hypothesis may be accepted or may be rejected. Okay, so most of the youngsters are interested towards the online shopping, or most of the youngsters are not interested towards the online shopping. So two statements, either it may be one may be accepted, remaining one rejected, and one rejected and the remaining one is accepted. Okay, so we'll talk about what is null hypothesis and even alternative hypothesis also. So a hypothesis is a tentative assumption which is relating to a certain phenomena which the researcher wants to verify when required. So you made a statement, and that statement you have to prove or maybe disprove based on your statistical method. Until unless you did not applied any statistical method to prove, then it is not valid. It's null and void itself. Okay, so it is an unproven statement or proposition about a factor or phenomena that is of interest to the researcher. Now my interest is that to know about any one particular thing, or to prove this is wrong, or to prove this is right, and to prove this is not being happened or happening. So it depends upon the researcher interest. Okay, so an important role of a hypothesis is to suggest variables to be included in the research design. Okay, so that has to be included in the design. It depends upon the variables which you have included in your research work. Okay, so what is hypothesis? A hypothesis is a tentative assumption which is relating to certain phenomena which the researcher wants to verify when it is required. It is an unproven statement or proposition about a factor or phenomena that is of interest to the researcher. Okay, clear? Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Yeah, good. So what is the purpose of hypothesis? A hypothesis should always explain what you expect to happen. Your hypothesis should always explain what you expect to happen. Okay, suppose you want to reject your null hypothesis, then you have to try to prove that, right? Of course, it depends upon data itself, but before framing your hypothesis, you should know, right? So how to frame hypothesis? That is what I think you did in the first semester in a statistics, right? In one sample t-test or maybe a two sample t-test, right? So we are comparing with the mean, and two means you are comparing, and paid sample you are comparing with the two different things, before and after. Okay, so many things. And even if it is a correlation, there is a correlation, right? Is it a positive or negative? If it is a regression, then if it is any changes in x variable and how far it has changed in y variable, y equals to a plus bx, right? Y equals to beta naught plus beta 1, x1 plus beta 1, x2 plus error term, which you wrote when you are solving the excuse me, when you are solving the problems in statistics, right? So your hypothesis should always explain what you expect to happen and be clear and understandable, right? It should not be vague, and it should not be tricky, and it has to be testable, and it has to be measurable and contain an independent and dependent variable. Any hypothesis should be consist of one independent and one dependent variable, right? So a hypothesis should always explain what you expect to happen and be clear and understandable, and even it has to be testable and be measurable, and it has to be contain independent and dependent variables. Okay, now, right, I think hope maybe you studied this. Now when you have one particular problem, and based on that you have an objective and even questions also, then you are going to be come up with the hypothesis. So hypothesis, basically you are going to be write two hypotheses. One is H0 and one is H1. H0 is called null hypothesis. H1 is called alternative hypothesis. What is H0?
Null hypothesis.
What is H1?
Alternative hypothesis.
Alternative hypothesis. So H0 is null, H1 is alternative hypothesis. Okay, so how you are going to write H0? So always a researcher is trying to reject null hypothesis, right? Now let me create a hypothesis like this. There is no significant difference between variables. So if you are proving that there is no significant difference between variables, so you are not doing anything new, right? So you are saying whole thing itself. So which is why you have to reject null hypothesis as per the calculation purpose. For time being, please try to understand what is null hypothesis, right? So always researcher is trying to reject the null hypothesis, right? Null is also represented with the H0. So example which I gave, there is no significant difference between variables. Then alternative hypothesis. So which is alternative, if you remove that no, there is a significant difference between variables. So now what is happened here, you are showing that there is a difference between the variables by applying any one statistical test, right? So which is why always researcher is trying to reject null hypothesis and accept alternative hypothesis. So again, based on the statistics, I think hope maybe in the one sample, two samples in the statistics problems, right? Based on the significance value, which is 0.05, right? If it is less than 0.05 value, right? So based on that, which you are going to be accept or maybe reject. If your value is, if your p value, right, is less than 0.05, then you are going to be accept alternative hypothesis. If your value is greater than 0.05, then you are accepting null hypothesis. This is basic funda, right? Okay, now let me show you one funny example to you, right? So how many of you understand this? Any one of you can please tell me? Are you there?
The result is based on her answer, sir.
Sorry?
The result is based on yes or no, the answer of her.
Yeah, listen carefully. See, one boy is proposing to a girl, right? Now, maybe her status, right? Now, let us take an example. I failed to reject the null hypothesis, right? So what null hypothesis is talking about? No change in our status, right? That means she is not accepting that. Okay, but whereas I failed to reject, so that means the girl is not accepting the null hypothesis and fail to reject, then which is accepting that. Okay, clear? Now simple, let me tell you one thing. Girl and boy are friends. So girl is presuming that that boy is a friend. Are you following? Now the boy is proposing to girl, but girl is saying about that there is no change in our status. That means the girl is saying to the boy, yes, we are both friends, that's it. But whereas if she is not accepting that, she failed to reject the null hypothesis, right? So which is indirectly, which I'm talking about here, right? So she is accepting, suppose if it is one particular thing. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Are you following? So she's saying about that I failed to reject the null hypothesis. So she failed to reject. That means she accepted that. Okay. Now, without confusing to you, now let me go ahead with this example, one more example. Now go ahead this example. Now read this, right? First one, H naught. Now let me take this one. Is the first one is a plant is here. So one person seeded a one particular seed here, right? Then he's pouring some fertilizer, okay? And see, that is fertilizer is X. So my null hypothesis, which I'm saying, application of biofertilizer, which is X, do not increase plant growth. Are you following? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So application of biofertilizer X do not increase plant growth. Okay, this is null hypothesis. Now what is my alternative hypothesis? Any one of you can please read?
Application of biofertilizer X increases plant.
Suppose if you reject null hypothesis, what is your statement? You rejected, you applied one statistical tool and you rejected null hypothesis. So what is your statement? What you are going to be saying that by applying that statistical method? Come on. Now listen carefully. Did you confused or I confused you? Shall I explain once again?
Yes, sir.
Now see, one person is checking with the fertilizer. If I pour this fertilizer on one particular seed, will it is going to be have impact on that plant or not? Okay, so he's checking. H naught, he wrote, application of biofertilizer X do not increase plant growth. That is null hypothesis, which is H naught. Alternative hypothesis, application of biofertilizer X increase plant growth. Okay, now, so he seeded that plant, okay, then he poured that fertilizer. After few weeks, right, so he came to know that by pouring that fertilizer X, right, that plant is growing. Now what is your statement?
H1, sir.
Now you observed by pouring that fertilizer and plant is growing. Now which one you are going to be accept? What is your statement after that? Now you saw growing a plant. Which one is true? Which one you are accepting?
Alternative hypothesis.
Alternative hypothesis. Why?
Because it is growing.
Because it is growing. Because see, previously you come up with the two assumptions. This fertilizer may not impact and may impact. So application of biofertilizer X do not increase plant growth. That is your null hypothesis that you are saying about that indirectly. Even though if I pour this fertilizer, even if I spill that fertilizer, there is no any difference. But whereas alternative hypothesis, application of biofertilizer X increase plant growth. Okay, so null hypothesis, the null hypothesis is a hypothesis which the researcher try to disprove or nullify, which is why even I say to you, right? So always researcher want to reject this. Okay, so the null hypothesis is a hypothesis which the researcher tries to disprove or nullify. So you are rejecting this. So if you are rejecting, then indirectly what you are doing?
Accepting H1.
Yes, that's it. Now suppose you said I failed to reject null hypothesis. That means
We are accepting null hypothesis.
that's it. Okay, so see, researcher may use in this article H naught rejected, right? Null hypothesis rejected, hence alternative hypothesis accepted. So application of biofertilizer X increase plant growth. This is how even you are going to be frame your hypothesis and proving. So prove that hypothesis, again it depends upon statistical tool, and again to choose what type of statistical tool is appropriate, it depends upon measurement scale. Is it nominal data, is it ordinal data, is it interval data, is it ratio data? So if it is a categorical, so you may not apply regression, right? So if it is a metric, then only it could be possible to you to apply in regression or maybe correlation. If it is a category, one categorical and one metric, then one type of test we have. If it is both a metric, then we have one type of test. If it is only categorical, we have one type of test, like that. So you should understand that logic. So if you understand this, then no need to depend upon anyone. You can finish your project successfully without asking help of anyone. Okay, hope you understand what is null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Yes or no? This is most important question. What is hypothesis? Explain null and alternative hypothesis. Did you understand? Yes or no? Come on, guys. Yeah. So as of now, even I explained to you, right? Null and alternative. Okay. So null, there is no significant difference as per our example, which is application of biofertilizer X do not increase plant growth, and application of biofertilizer X increase plant growth, which is alternative hypothesis. Okay. So I'm clearly mentioning here, which is null and alternative hypothesis. Okay. So see, this is null and this is alternative hypothesis. Okay. Assumption status quo, nothing new. That is, there is no change at all. This is null. Assumed to be true, a given, right? And even negation of the research question. So which are negotiating that research question. But whether alternative hypothesis, which is rejection of an assumption. So you are rejecting the null hypothesis. So can that what happen? You are accepting alternative hypothesis. Rejection of an assumption or the given, right? Or maybe a research question to be proven. So you have to prove in the alternative hypothesis does not contain equality. So see, when you are writing null hypothesis, right, always contains an equality. So it is less than equals to or greater than equals to. Okay. So this is again, maybe how many of you remember when you are writing, when you are making a hypothesis, or maybe when you are solving a problem, one sample, two sample, or maybe paid sample t-test, right? So you wrote. Okay. So see, if it is h naught equals to, then again that equals to either maybe less than equals to or maybe greater than equals to, right? So if it is not equals to, then again what happened? Maybe a greater than or maybe less than. Okay. So for time being, please try to understand only what is null and alternative hypothesis. Okay. So hope maybe you should have all these basics in the first semester itself when you are solving the problems in statistics. Okay. Now see, let me explain to you. My null is h naught is equals to, or else mu naught is equals to mu1. Okay. So I'm taking two population means here. Mu naught is equals to mu1, and my alternative hypothesis mu naught is not equals to mu1. Now if it is not equals to, then again it may be less than equals to or maybe greater than equals to, right? We can write. If it is not equals to, that means either it may be less than equals to or maybe greater than equals to. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is what even I'm talking about here. Okay, clear? Now even one more thing before closing this session, let me explain to you. So how we are going to be test hypothesis. So it's based on some basic information, right? So steps in the hypothesis testing, either it may be a two-tailed test or maybe a one-tailed test, right? So just now I say to you, right, null hypothesis mu equals to mu naught, and alternative hypothesis mu is not equals to mu naught. So if it is mu is not equals to mu naught, then either it may be a mu is less than equals to or mu is greater than equals to 0. So then we are going to be come up with the two-tailed test. So suppose if you are alternative hypothesis which you are making about that mu is less than mu naught, then one-tailed test. If it is mu is greater than 0, this is also one-tailed test. Okay, one-tailed test or maybe two-tailed test. It depends upon, if you understand that logic, then it is easy here. Okay, so what we are going to be do in testing, right? This is about the process, right? It depends upon the method which you are applying. Is it maybe a one sample, or maybe two samples, or maybe paid sample, or maybe correlation, or maybe regression, right? So you have to state the hypothesis, one null and alternative, and identify the test statistic and its probability distribution. So you have to find out this test statistics. Okay, so and after that signify the significance value, which is 0.05. Then state the decision rule, right? Then based on the value which you have got, collect the data and perform the calculations. So you collected the data and you perform the calculations and make this statistical decision based on the value which you got. Okay, if t calculated value is greater than t table value, if t calculated value is less than t table value, I think hope maybe in the statistics when you are solving the problems, right, t test or maybe budget test related, you did the same thing. T calculated value is greater than t table value, right, which we are rejected null hypothesis and you accepted alternative hypothesis. If t calculated value is less than t table value, whereas you fail to reject null hypothesis, hence you are accepting null hypothesis. Okay, clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So again, it depends upon what type of test you are using, right? Just now I said to you, right, one tail test or maybe two tail test. So see here, mu is less than equals to 0 and mu is greater than 0. So which is why I am depending upon only one tail test. If suppose my null hypothesis mu is greater than 0, right, then again it is also one tail test. So left tail test or two tail, left or right, or maybe a two tail. It depends upon how you are presuming your hypothesis. So you should have some basic knowledge here to understand this. So those who have a basic knowledge in a statistics, they may understand. Is there anyone statistical student in your class? Those who are attending now, is there anyone BSc statistics, BSc mathematics, BSc statistics? Hope maybe you come across all these methods in your degree level, or at least in intermediate level also. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So those who already come across BSc statistics, or maybe BSc statistics students, or maybe a degree level BSc mathematics, right, or maybe intermediate level, those who studied MEC, right, mathematics, economics and commerce related oriented subjects, right, maybe you come across this basic information, right? You should have this basic information, then only you will be correlate what I'm talking about. If you did not have that basic information, then maybe what I'm talking, maybe it's big question marks to you. Okay, any doubts as of now? Do you have any questions? Please ask me. So we discussed most important topics now. One is measurement, right, and one is hypothesis. Okay, null and alternative hypothesis. Okay, so we have two types of errors. So let me take only 1 minute to explain type 1 error and type 2 error, right? So this is also most important one. So maybe you're going to be get question like this: what is hypothesis? Explain null and alternative hypothesis for 7 marks question. So you should write what is hypothesis, then after that two types of hypothesis, null and alternative hypothesis, and how you are going to be calculate that and prove that, and even errors, type 1 and type 2 error. Okay, so if it is true, right, so you should accept that is correct decision which you are taking. But if it is true, right, null hypothesis is true, but whereas you rejected that, then that is called type 1 error. Okay, null hypothesis is false but you accepted, that is type 2 error. Okay, so let me give an example like this. Even though if it is a good lot but you rejected, that means a product quality is good, you are a manager in one particular organization as a quality checking manager, right? Even though the product quality is good but you rejected, that is called type 1 error. Type 2 error, what is that? Even though the product quality is bad but you accepted that, that is called type 2 error. So when you are doing calculations in the hypothesis, most probably what happened, we are going to be do some mistakes. If it's true, right, but you rejected that, then type 1 error. If it is false but you accepted that, that is called type 2 error. Even though if it is a good lot but you rejected, that is type 1 error. Even though if it is a bad lot but you accepted that, that is called type 2 error. Any questions? Do you have any questions as of now? Any questions, please ask me. No? Yeah. Let me check how many of you understand the concepts. Let me ask few questions. Let me take 1 or 2 minutes. How many measurement scales we discussed? How many measurement scales we discussed?
Four.
4.
Four,
What are
yeah.
they? What are they?
Nominal,
Hmm.
ordinal,
Nominal dot ordinal interval data, ratio data.
Yes, good, Shirisha. So nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. So any one of you can please tell me nominal and ordinal is also called?
Categorical data.
Yeah, categorical
Cat-
data or categorical variables. Interval and ratio data is also called
metric,
Metric data.
metric data or maybe numerical data. Okay. Then after that we discussed about hypothesis. So what do you mean by hypothesis?
hypothesis is an assumption.
Assumption or maybe statement. Yes. So how many types of hypothesis we have?
Two.
2 types. What are they?
Null hypothesis.
Alternative.
Null and alternative. Okay. So null is going to be represented with
Zero.
H naught. H naught. Alternative
H1.
H1.
H1. Okay. So always researcher try to reject null hypothesis. Is it true?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So can that you are saying that alternative hypothesis which you are proving. Okay. So we have 2 types of errors. One is type 1 error and one is type 2 error. Okay. So what is type 1 error?
Accepting null hypothesis.
So see, even though if it is true, but you are rejecting that null hypothesis, that is called type 1 error. Null hypothesis is false, but you are accepting, that is called type 2 error. So a best example, which is even though if it is a good lot, you are rejecting, that is called
Null.
type 1
Type
error.
1.
If it is a bad lot, but you are accepting that, that is called
Type 2 error.
type 2 error. That's it. Even though if it is a good, but you are rejecting. Even though if it is a bad, but you are accepting. Okay. If it is good, you are accepting, that is type 1 error. If it is bad, you are accepting, that is called type 2 error. That's it. Okay. So 2 more concepts left over in the second unit that we'll discuss in the next class. That is tomorrow. Okay. So let me stop here BRM, then we'll go ahead with the QABD class. Okay. Right. So do you have any questions as of now in assignment problems and the 2 maximization? I think I gave yesterday 1 problem to you. I have received answers from only 2 students. I don't know whether you're following or not my instructions. Please follow. Spend at least 1 hour time. Joseph want to enter now. Superb. Joseph,
Yes, sir.
are you there in the 10 to 11 session?
I was still half, sir. The power gone in my house, sir.
Okay. Right. Okay. So see, listen carefully. please spend 1 hour time to solve the problems, especially QABD, to familiarize the procedure and methods. So can that you are not going to face any problem when you are solving the problems in the examination hall. Okay, so which is why even I'm giving, once completed my session, I'm giving one practice problem. So if you practice that, then it is easy. Even though if you practice now at the time of examination, you have to practice even all problems, and you should remember the methods, because initial basic feasible solution, northwest corner method, least cost method, and even Vogel's approximation method is different, and Modi method is different. In Modi method, again we have a different types of a process, right? If it is unbalanced, how to solve, right? So we solved different methods, right? And if it is a degeneracy or non-degeneracy, so different conditions we have. And even in the assignment problems, right? So row reduction, column reduction, if it is a minimization, if it is a maximization, again one more method. So you should have, and you should get immediately procedure. So if you're stuck, then gone. So when you are not going to be stuck, then when you are going to be solve the problem, when you practice the problems. If you did not practice, no one will help. Okay, so please practice the problems. Fine. So if you have any questions, please ask me. I think my board is visible to you. Just yes or no? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So yesterday we discussed about maximization related problems under assignment. Okay, so what we did under assignment, especially in the maximization method, what we did?
Taking the highest value from the table and deducting it from every value.
So we have taken highest value in the table and we subtracted with that value in the entire table. Then we got one particular table. Then based on that, the same procedure, row reduction, column reduction, and after that, which we have, if we get each and every column and row one assigned 0, the remaining 0 should be cancelled. If we did not get, then we are applying then again the minimum lines, right? Then after that, then we are checking with the entire table, then which value is not touching that particular lines, and we are observing those values, and in that the minimum value we are taking, and if it is only one line which is touching in that particular value, we are keeping as it is, and if it is leftover value, we are subtracting with that minimum value, and if it is intersecting in that particular value, we are adding that value. Then by doing that, then again we are making to get one assigned 0 in each and every row and column. Then once if you got, then we shown that value. This is what we did in the maximization. Okay, now see, in the assignment problems, maybe sometimes you are going to be get unbalanced. So what do you mean by unbalanced? I think, hope maybe you know very well about that in the transportation problems we did.
When supply and demand do not.
So in the transportation problem, supply and demand is not matching. Okay, but whereas here in the assignment problems, right? So what happens here? They may give, which is 4 rows 3 columns. Okay. So if it is 4 rows and 3 columns, then again you have to add one more column to match that. Okay, then that entire column values become 0. Okay, yes or no? Then we'll start the problem. Same procedure now, which I'm taking to solve, which is unbalanced problems under this assignment. Unbalanced assignment. problems. Okay, so let me take values. Unbalanced assignment problems. Unbalanced assignment problems. Is it visible to you? Any one of you? Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so see here, I'm not reading the question, so directly I'm taking values here, which is they gave 4 missions and 5 locations. 4 missions and 5 locations. That means how many rows? How many rows?
4 rows, 5 columns.
4
Five
rows and 5 columns. 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, so machines which they gave M1, M2, M3 and M4. Okay, then locations they gave A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so see, you have to check if it is a transportation problems, right? So you have to check demand and supply, whether it is matching or not. If it is not matching, then you are going to make unbalanced to balanced. So you are adding either maybe a row or maybe a column, then the remaining row or column value, then we are going to be add, and the values in that row or column, it becomes 0. Same thing we are doing here itself. So here they gave one problem, 4 missions and 5 locations. Okay, so values they gave like this. Values they gave like this. Let me take values, which is 9, first row. Simultaneously, please note it down in your book also. 9, 11, 15, 10, 11, 12, 9. So in the M2 second row and the third column, it is dash. Keep dash. There is no value. 10, 9. Then again, third row, first column, which is dash. 11, 14, again 11, 7. Then last one, which is 14, 8, 12, 7, 8. Okay. Is it clear? Now, any one of you can please tell me, as of now, we solved the problems and each and every row and column also we got some values. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But what you identified here?
Rows are not equal to columns. Number of rows are not equal to columns.
Yeah, number of rows is not equals to columns. That is one difference. And one more difference.
2 of the boxes do not have values.
Yeah, second row and third column, and third row and first column, we don't have values. Okay, so if they gave like this, so don't confuse. Don't confuse, right? The first one which they gave here, this unbalanced problem. So you should remember. So this is unbalanced. So what we have to do?
Add a dummy row in 5.
Add dummy row. Good. So I'm adding dummy row here itself to make it equal. So can that what happen? It becomes equal. Unbalanced to balanced. So you can keep either maybe this is dummy M or maybe M5 dummy or whatever name, right, to identify. So I'm giving here which is dummy M5. M5 dummy. Now if it is M5 dummy, then obviously what happened, the values of that particular row, it becomes zeros only. 0, 0, 0, 0. That's it. Okay, clear? Now one more thing. Did you understand this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, the most important thing, they did not give values in the M2 second row and third column, and the third row and first column. So if you get this situation, then what you have to do, simple, right? So you have to keep any value over there, right? That value, as per the JK Sharma and SD Sharma, they mentioned keep M, keep M. Okay, are you following? Are you following? So I'm keeping here, which is that particular value which they did not give, that is M. That is M. Is it fine? If you have any questions, please ask me. If you have any questions, please ask me now. Any questions? Do you have any questions? So what we did, given problem is unbalanced, so unbalanced to balanced. To make it unbalanced to balanced, what we did, we add
Dummy row.
dummy row. Then they did not give in the second row and third column value, and even third row first column. So what we did,
We assume that as M.
M. That's it. So that M value is nothing. It may be nearer to 0. That's it. So hope maybe you understood when you are solving the problem in the transportation, and that too in the Modi method. If it is a degeneracy, so we add it, which is epsilon. Same thing we are doing here. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that epsilon value in the degeneracy condition, so we have taken 0 itself. Okay, to make it degeneracy to non-degeneracy condition. So same thing here, which is they did not give any value, so you are presuming that, or you are assuming that, which is M. That's it. That M may not play any role in the assignment, even though if you did not get any assignments, if you mark with your lines, or maybe if it is empty, or if it is intersecting, that rule may not be applicable in the M place. Remember this. Shall we go ahead with the method? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is that first step? What is that first step?
Row reduction.
Row reduction. Good. So how many rows we have? 5 rows, 5 columns. So which one is the minimum value in the first row?
9.
9, right? So 9 minus 9, 0. 11 minus 9, 2. 15 minus 9, 6. 10 minus 9. Any one of you?
1.
11 minus 9.
2.
Next row.
9.
9. So you may not consider this M. Okay. So you will keep as it is M. That's it. So 9 is a minimum. 12 minus 9.
3. 3.
3. 9 minus 9.
0.
So we'll keep M as it is. 10 minus 9.
1.
9 minus 9.
2. This was 0.
0. So in the third row,
7.
7.
7, right? Okay. Now first value.
4.
First
Sorry, M.
value. M. So we'll keep as it is M. No changes. Next. 11 minus 7. 4.
7.
7.
4.
4.
0.
0. Now fourth row.
7 again.
7 again. Yeah. 14 minus 7.
7.
7. Okay. Next. 8 minus 7. 1. 12 minus 7.
5.
5.
7 minus 7.
0.
0.
8 minus 7.
1.
1.
What about last row?
All
0.
All zeros. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If you have any doubts, please ask me. Now, what is next step?
Column reduction.
Column reduction. Okay. So, will you do column reduction or we will take same as it is?
No need, sir. We'll take same as it is.
So, no need. We may take same as it is. Okay, because each and every column we have zeros. So, no need to take. Right? Now, assignment. Okay. So, see, you have to check assignments how it will be possible. Okay. Now, if I take this should be cancelled. In the first row, if I take, then last column, sorry, last row 0 should be cancelled. Then if I take second row 0, then this 0 should be cancelled, right? If I take this 0, this should be cancelled, right? Then see, because we are not going to get any zeros here. So if you take, if you take this one, this cancel. If you take this one cancel. Even this will be cancel here. Okay. Then if you take this, then this should be cancelled. Clear? So like that, simultaneously we will check. Yes or no? Shall we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I assign this should be cancelled. If I assign this should be cancelled. If I assign this, is it possible to assign here?
No, yes.
Hmm?
No, sir.
No. So this should be cancelled. So this should be cancelled. Okay. Assign this, cancel. Now, any one of you can please tell me where I have to assign. Where I have to assign. So if I assign this should be cancelled.
Fifth
Yes,
row,
sir. Fifth row,
No.
third column.
So you can assign this, cancel this, and assign this. Yes, or no?
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yes, sir.
So assign this, cancel, and assign this. That's it. So we got each and every row and column. Check. We got 1, assign 0. Yes, we got. Okay. Now what we have to do?
TTC, total transportation cost.
Location 1 will be assigned to A location.
L1, location 1.
L1. A.
A, sir.
A. I have mentioned here location A, B, C, D, E. Okay. So M1 into the A location, M2
B,
B, M3
E,
M3 E, then M4,
D,
M4 is D, M5
C,
C. Okay. So M1A, how much?
9,
9. M2 B,
9,
9.
7,
M3 E, 7.
7,
D,
7,
C,
0,
0. That's it. 18 plus 7,
30,
25 plus 7,
32, sir.
30,
2,
32.
Yes, sir.
A is your answer. Yes or no?
yes, sir.
Right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts, please ask me. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Do you have any questions? So any one of you can please explain procedure, what we did. Any one of
First we
you?
have to check.
Sorry?
First we have to check whether the assignment problem is balanced or unbalanced.
Exactly, good. So how we are going to be identify?
Based on the number of rows and columns.
Good, superb. Next.
And then if it is balanced, we go directly to row reduction. And if it is unbalanced, we add a dummy row or column
Good.
based on which is unbalanced.
Okay, good. Next.
And after adding a dummy row or column, we directly go to row reduction, column reduction, and then assigning the zeros.
Yes, exactly. Then suppose if you did not get each and every row and column 1 assigned 0, then simple.
Then we cover the assigned and non-assigned zeros.
Yes, with the dotted lines. The same procedure. Yeah. Then suppose, listen carefully. Suppose you got line under this M. So what you have to do? Is there any change in that M place?
No, sir.
That 3 rules may not be applicable in the M place. That's it. Even though if it is intersecting, even though if it is one line, even though if it is empty, so same as it is. We are not going to be change anything. So what does that mean to say in the problem, right? They may not going to be a give here, or they are not going to be get any assignments in that particular place. That's it. Okay, clear? Shall we go ahead with one more problem based on same?
Yes.
sir.
Yeah. So let me take one more problem, which is I mean not give you. Shall we go with the unbalanced also,
Yes.
or shall we go ahead with the only this without given any values? Same thing, right? So let me because we don't have here unbalanced, so I'm giving balanced one itself, but instead of giving values, I'm not giving values. Is it okay for you? Shall we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Right. So make it 5 rows and 5 columns. Make it 5 rows and 5 columns. So which is they're given here pilot and flight number. So 5 rows, 5 columns. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A, B, C, D, E pilot. Flight numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So first row 8, 2, dash 5, 4. Second row 10, 9, 2, 8, 4. 5, 4, 9, 6, dash 3, 6, 2, 8, 7, 5, 6, 10, 4, 3. Okay. Fine. Shall we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
So any one of you can please tell me the procedure. So I'm not going to be do. So you are going to be give the values. Then based on that, I'm going to make a table. So what we have to do here?
In place of dash, first we need to put M.
M. That's it. Good. So I'm going to put here M. Okay. Good.
Then we do row reduction.
So row reduction. Fine. So now row reduction. Right? Yeah. Row reduction. Tell me.
6, 0,
6, 0,
M,
M
3,
3
2,
2. Next
8,
8
7,
7
0,
0
6, 6,
6
2,
2. Okay.
1,
1
0,
0
5,
5
2,
1,
2
M.
M. Okay.
1,
1
4,
4
2,
0
yeah, 6,
6
5,
5
2,
2
3,
3
7,
7
1,
1
0.
0. Right. Now column reduction. Okay. So we have to do column reduction or not?
We have to do so.
Exactly. Why?
First
Yeah.
column doesn't have zeros.
Yeah, first column doesn't have 0, so only one it is going to be changed, the remaining is same as it is. That's it, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
column reduction. Yeah. So tell me
5,
5
7,
7
0,
0
0,
0
1.
1. So 0 7 0 4 3 M 0 5 0 7 as it is. Now what about fourth row, fourth column?
2, 5, 1, 5, 0.
Exactly, because the minimum is 1. So 2 5
5,
1
1,
5
5,
0.
0.
Then what about last one?
Same, sir.
2 2 M 5 0. So this is our column reduction. Okay. Now, so you know the procedure, right? So to assign. Now let me check. So if I assign this, this should be cancelled. If I assign this, this should be cancelled. So simultaneously I'm taking here. So if I assign this, this should be cancelled, right? If I assign this, this should be cancelled. If I assign this, this should be cancelled. If I assign this, this should be cancelled. So did we got?
No, sir.
No. So what is next step?
Covering the zeros.
So is it possible with us 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5? Not possible. Then we can go ahead with the last row, right? 1 2 3 4 5. No. So 1
So we can go like this. 1, 2, 3 columns and fifth row.
1 2
Fifth row,
3
sir.
column. Yes, fifth row. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Is
Yes,
it
sir.
possible with the 3 lines?
No, sir.
No, right? So okay, we'll go ahead with like this. 1 2 3 and this 4. Okay. Now next, leftover minimum value
1.
1. So simple, right? So next one 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah. Now tell me the values. First one
5, 0,
5 0
M, 1, 1.
M 1 1. Good. So if it is M, so we have to keep no changes. No, that 3 rules may not be applicable on M place. That's it. Remember. Yeah.
7, 7,
7 7
0, 4, 1.
4 1. Yeah. Next
0, 0,
0 0
5, 0, M.
5 0 M. Next
0, 4, 0,
0 4 0
4, 4.
4 4. Next
2, 4, 8,
2 4 8
0, 0.
0 0. That's it. Okay. Now allocations. Okay. So now suppose, see, if I assign this, this should be cancelled. Okay. Now suppose if I assign this, this should be cancelled. So if I assign this, This should
Sir, the
cancel.
last row it is 3, no sir? Fifth row, first column.
It is
2 and 3.
one only, right?
Okay, sir.
One.
One only.
Okay.
Okay. So see, if I assign this, this should be cancelled. I can assign this. We got right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's it. Now, what we have to do? So this is A, right? So A
8 to 2.
A pilot, which is they gave pilot and flight numbers. Okay. So A pilot, which flight has to be given? 2.
2.
What is that value? 2.
2.
So B, which is
2. Sorry.
B,
3.
which is 3. 3 flight, third flight. Then value
2.
2. Then which is C,
4.
C4. What about value?
6.
6,
D,
1,
1.
D1. What about value?
3,
3.
Okay, 3. Sorry. 3. E,
5,
5.
E, which is we got, okay, last one, 5. 5, 3.
3. 16.
10, 3, 16. Answer. That's it. So this is about which is unbalanced. So as of now, we did minimization, maximization, and unbalanced. In the unbalanced, then if they did not give any value, then how it is going to be solved. Any doubts? Any doubts? If you have any doubts, please ask me. If you have any doubts, please ask me. No?
No, sir.
Okay, right. So the last method in the third unit, that is traveling salesman problems. Traveling salesman problems. Okay. Now, a little bit knowledge required to understand this. Now, any one of you can please tell me, in the assignment problem, 3 rows, 4 columns. Now, suppose let us take an example, A, B, C, we have taken 1, 2, 3. Suppose you got A2 and B3 and C1. So, A2, B3, C1 we did. That's it. Is it right? What I wrote here on the board, is it exactly correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. But whereas, see, in the traveling salesman problem, we are not going to be do this. We are not going to be do this. So only in the assignment problems, what we did, so we assigned which mission to which person, or based on the problem which we assigned. That's it. Okay. But we did not follow any sequence. But whereas in the traveling salesman problems, we have to follow one sequence. So how many of you remember first day when I was taken first class? I have explained to you. Okay. So same example which I'm taking, right? So see, maybe A, or else let me take an example of this class itself. Who is there? I think Haripreet Kaur. Haripreet.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Haripreet.
Yes, sir.
Do you know Hyderabad city? Where are you from?
Sir, I'm from Hyderabad, sir.
Okay, Hyderabad itself. Okay, I
Yes.
think hope maybe you know very well about the areas of Hyderabad, right? Born and brought up Hyderabad? Haripreet.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. So I'm taking an example of Haripreet. So to make you clear, so I'm making here H. So Haripreet. So Haripreet, got an offer. So you are into finance or marketing or HR?
HR, sir.
HR. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for time being, you have taken marketing. You are a marketing. You completed MBA in JBIT with a good percentage, and after that you got a job in
Yes, sir.
one good company as a marketing officer. Okay, is it fine, Harpreet?
Yes, sir.
How much you want salary? How much you want salary in that company?
She want 1 lakh it seems, sir.
So I gave already 1 lakh here. Okay. So of course, assumption only, right? So we'll take 2 lakhs. Harpreet, is it fine?
Yes, sir.
It's not year, per month.
Per month, it's not, sir. It's 1 lakh is okay, sir, per month.
No. Don't satisfy with 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. Per month, 2 lakhs.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, Harpreet, say, Harpreet, next name, what is that? Harpreet Kaur, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Harpreet got an opportunity as a marketing officer in one famous company, right? Let us take an example, which is maybe a HUL, Hindustan Unilever Limited. Obviously, they will pay money more than 1 lakh and 1.5 lakhs itself. So 2 lakhs. So what is your role? Every day you have to go and meet and check whether the dealers are maintaining or stock or not. If they require any demand, then you have to note it down and you have to give an information to your manager at the end. Are you following, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So, corporate office located at High Tech City. Corporate office located at High Tech City, and Harpreet Kaur is staying at Hyderguda. Okay, all heads itself. Okay, so Harpreet Kaur is staying at Hyderguda, and corporate office is High Tech City. Now every day she has to go to High Tech City, reporting to the manager, and then starting to the different locations. Is it fine? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So dealer locations located at different places, which is one is Mehedipatnam, okay, one is which is Abits, and one is Secunderabad, and one is Medchal, and one is Kukatpalli, then High Tech City. I think hope maybe you know very well about these locations, right? So see, dealer locations located at one is Mehedipatnam, one is Abits, one is Secunderabad, and one is Medchal, and one is Kukatpalli. Hope you understand. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Now see, Harpreet Kaur from the Hyderguda to, she reported to the office, to the manager, and the manager gave one task to her. Just go and meet each and every dealer point and come back to the office and give report. Okay. Now, what Harpreet Kaur did, okay, she first went to from High Tech City to Secunderabad, and Secunderabad to Mehedipatnam, Mehedipatnam to Kukatpalli, Kukatpalli to what is this?
Medchal.
Medchal, and from Medchal to Abits, then Abits to office. Is it fine?
It's the longest route, I guess, sir.
It's the longest route and odd route, and that at the same time, even she is going to be incur high cost also. Of course,
Highest one.
marketing officer is going to be get traveling allowances, which is why Harpreet Kaur want to get that more after 1 month. So she did this particular thing, but it is not accurate and opt oriented one. Okay, so rather than going in this way, now listen carefully, right? So hope I think you understood what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
So Harpreet Kaur, her route, she decided without wasting time, right? So initially she went and meet Mehedipatnam dealer and spoke with him, and collected the information, his demand, and even what he is expecting, and what about the product related information, and if he required any stock, she collected the information. And then again from Medipatnam to Abits, from Abits to Secunderabad, and Secunderabad to, which is Medchal, Medchal to Kukatpalli, and Kukatpalli to High Tech City. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Now see, listen carefully. Harpreet Kaur, which is she is staying at Hyderguda, right? From there she went office to the High Tech City. Fine. High Tech City. From High Tech City to, what manager said, just go and meet to the Medipatnam dealer. She met Medipatnam dealer, and her starting point is here, right? Is it starting point?
Yes, sir.
Then this is ending point,
Yes, sir.
right? So she visited once. Then once she started from Medipatnam to Abits, this is her.
Starting point.
What about this?
Ending point.
Then from Abits to here,
A bit starting point.
then this is,
Ending point.
this is starting and ending, this is starting and ending, this is starting and ending. Okay. So in the traveling salesman problem, right? So the traveling salesman has to visit city only once. Our dealer point is only once. Now see what happened here. Harpreet Kaur started from High Tech City corporate office to Medipatnam. So she completed her work over there. Then again she started from here to here, which is Abits, and she completed her work over there. And from Abits to Secunderabad, she completed her work over there. From Secunderabad to Medipatnam, she completed her work over there. From Medchal to Kukatpalli, which she reached over there and completed her work. Now, which by meeting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dealers and reached to the High Tech City, which is corporate office, and report given to the top management. So this is what we are going to be do in the traveling salesman problem. So what is the difference which you find previous problem and this problem?
There should be a sequence.
Exactly, there should be a sequence. Now see, in the previous problem, what we did, irrespective of assignments. Now see, listen carefully. So this is A, and this is B and C, and this is also A, B, C. So if you assign this, and you may be assigned this, and you may be assigned this, that's it. But you did not check any sequence. But what I'm talking about here, so if it is A to B, because B was ended, then again you have to close from B to C. Same thing. Okay. So B to C. Now C to A. Right? Then again A to B. So where you started, you have to end. That is what we are doing in the traveling salesman problem. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So see, in the assignment problem, just we assigned, that's it. We did not check the sequence. But whereas here, suppose if you started from 1 to 2, so then again you have to start from 2 to 3 itself. You may not go ahead with the from if you started from 1 and you ended 2, then but you may not start from 3. So you have to start from 2 to 3 itself. From 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5, and again 5 to 1. That's it. This route we have to find out. Allocating, and at the same time you have to check that route also. So can that what happened? Traveling salesman has to visit only once when he is traveling, which is why I have taken this example. Did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Yes. Shall we go ahead with the problem?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let me take one problem, right? So this is about the problem. So they gave under traveling salesman problem, right? So 4 rows or 4 columns, 4 rows and 4 columns. Okay, so this is from city A, B, C, D. Then to city is also going to be get A, B, C, D itself, right? So always remember diagonal values which we are not going to be get anything, right, in the traveling salesman problem. Okay, so first row second column 46, 16, 40. Second row first column 41, second row third column 50, then next 40, then third row first column 82, 32, 60, 40, 40, 36. I repeat one more time values which is in the traveling salesman problem, a diagonal which you are not going to be get any value. So that is one more logic, and how you are going to be identify the given problem is transportation problem or not. This is the logic, right? So if you get diagonal values all dash, then they are talking about transportation. It's a blind assumption of which I'm giving a hint to you, right? Traveling salesman problem. Okay, so values first row second column 46, 16, 40, second row 41 dash 50, 40, third row 82, 32 dash 60, then the fourth row 40, 40, 36 dash. Okay, clear, right? Now what is procedure? Next procedure, see, if you get like this, the first step in the traveling salesman problems, right? So this dash which we are going to be assume, right, which is infinity, same as it is in the previous problem m. Okay, so I'm assuming this is infinity value. So even in the further calculations it may not play any important role, right? And even that 3 conditions also may not be applicable in this particular place. That's it. Okay, now what we have to do, row reduction, that's it. Okay, so row reduction, any one of you can please tell me?
Infinity, 30.
One second, row reduction 4 rows. Yeah, so first one infinity, so diagonal values I'm making infinity itself. Next
30.
So 16 is the minimum. 46 minus 16, how much?
30.
30, 16 minus 60, 0.
24.
24, good. Next minimum value
40.
40, 41 minus 40,
1.
1. Next
10.
50 minus 40, 10. 40 minus 40, 0. The next minimum value,
32.
yeah, 82 minus 32,
50.
50. 32 minus
Zero.
50, 0. Then 60 minus 32,
28.
28. Next 36 is minimum value. 40 minus 36, 4. 40 minus
4.
36, 4. 30 minus 30 minus 30, 30 minus 36, which becomes 0. Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Then column reduction. So we have to do column reduction because in the first column we don't have any 0, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So I'm making diagonal values which is infinity. Then next 1 minus 1, 0. 50 minus 1, 49. 4 minus 1, 3.
3.
So 30, infinity, 0, 4. Same values, 0, 10. Then infinity 0, 24, 0, 28. Is it fine? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now see here, this is from city, right? A, B, C, D. To city, A, B, C, D. Now what I'm talking about here, so check traveling salesman, which is A, he started from A city, and if he started, then he has to end in the C city. Then if he's ended with the C city, then again he had to start from C itself. Is it fine? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now if he started from C, then he has to close with the B itself. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Because we have 0 in B city, then he has to start from B. Then if we start from B to D, then definitely this 0 has to be cancelled, right? Which is in a second row and first column. Yes or no?
Sir, come again, sir.
Yeah. Okay, simple. See, I will write here A to C, where I'm going to allocate.
Third row, first row, third column.
Exactly, good. Now I have to start from C itself, right?
Yes.
Now C to where is 0?
B.
2.
Yeah,
B.
2. So B, good. Is possible, right? Now
Yes.
again, where I have to start from?
From
B.
B.
B. Now here we are going to get one confusion, right? Suppose if you take from B to A, what about D city? Because you closed, right? So you started from A to C, C to B, then B to A. Then you did not went to D city, right? As of now,
Yes, sir.
yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So which is why I'm not taking this A. Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Now, so if you take from B to D, you can take, right?
What is C?
B to D you can take, right? Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now listen carefully. I'm assigning same thing, A to C. Okay, then remaining 0 should be cancelled here, right?
Yes.
Is it possible again to go from sorry, okay, so I will cancel this. Fine. Now you assign this, then C to B, assign this, then B to D, assign this. Now if you assign this, you have to cancel this, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So if we cancel, then is it possible? Is there any other 0 is there?
No.
No. So we have to start from D to close with the A. Suppose if it is 0 here in the first column, then our problem is optimal, but we don't have 0 over there. So what is next procedure? What is next procedure?
Drawing lines.
Drawing lines, that's it. Drawing lines. Now how many lines is possible?
3.
3, sir.
3. Where?
Second row,
Okay.
second column, third column.
Third column.
Second row, third row, and fourth column. Is it fourth column or third column?
Sir, second.
So we can take
second row, and third row, and third column. Is it fine?
yes, sir. So we can take like this also, no, sir. Second column, third column, and second row.
Second row.
Yeah, you can take, no problem.
Okay.
Ultimately, you are going to be get the final answer is same. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I have taken here, which is second row and third row, and even fourth column. Sorry, third column. Fine. Then leftover minimum value.
3.
3 is the minimum value. Now next procedure. Tell me. Next procedure. So you have to be make this as infinity. There is no change at all.
27.
27.
27.
0.
27,
0.
0,
21.
21. Next.
0.
0,
Infinity.
infinity. Yeah. Next.
13.
13,
0.
0,
49.
49,
0.
0,
28.
28,
0.
0,
4.
4.
No, 1,
1,
0.
0.
exactly. Right? Now again we'll check A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, right? Now my assignments, right? So I'm writing here itself. Okay. Now A to C, I'm writing A to C, fine.
B.
Then again C to
B.
B, next.
B to D.
So B to D, next.
D to A.
D to A, sir.
We got right? Same sequence?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That is what we are doing in the traveling salesman problem. That's it. Okay. Any questions?
No.
So A to C. So our route is A to C, then C to B, then B to D, and D to A. So traveling salesman visited only once in his travel that city, only once. It's not repeated. And where you started and he ended in the same place itself. So A to C, C to B, B to D, D to A. Now A to C values, how much?
16.
Sorry?
16.
So this is 16. Then C to B,
40.
C to B,
C to B.
C to
32.
32.
Then B to D,
40.
40.
40. Then what about D to A?
40.
40.
D to A, 40. Yeah, exactly. 40. Total
128.
128. This is about his transportation cost. If he choose this particular route. Do you have any questions? Please ask me. Any questions? If you have any questions, please ask me. No? Yes or no? Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Yeah. So one method, it's not method. So one more procedure is there in the traveling salesman problems, right? So we'll discuss that in the next class. Okay, is it fine?
Okay, sir.
Right? Shall we stop here itself?
Okay, sir.
Right. Okay. So the only one thing, one logic in the traveling salesman problem. So rather than going this Hungarian method, right? Even though if you apply that, then some situation which is going to be arise to us, right? So they may say about that rather than taking or going ahead with this method, which is a crossing minimum lines, they may say about that next take any minimum value to assign as a assignment, then check whether you are finding route or not. So that is one more logic. Then that it will take only 5 to 10 minutes tomorrow. Then after that we'll go ahead with the next chapter, that is a 4th unit. Okay, so do you have any questions? Please ask me. Otherwise let me close, and after the session I'm going to forward to you one problem. Let us see how many of you solve the problem. Okay, is it fine?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, good day. We'll meet tomorrow.